I want to thank Canal for being particularly interested in the lawyers' strike, ongoing strike that is about, or that much has been said about of recent. Suffice it to thank you and to thank the management of Canal for their interest over the Anglophone plight, because it is the lawyers' strike has been submerged in what has become the Anglophone problem. That said, suffice it to say, I am Kemende Henry, an individual Cameroonian. I'm Kemende Henry, the barrister. I'm Kemende Henry, the politician. And I'm Kemende Henry, the Bar Council member and Bâtonnier's representative. These various caps are difficult to put on, but what will interest us today is Kemende Henry, the Bar Council member and the Bâtonnier's representative that I am. Vis-a-vis the development that we are witnessing with regard to the ongoing lawyer strike. Suffice it to say, as a politician, be it the politician of the bar or politician of the partisan politics, we take note of the emotions of the people we are leading. We take note of the sentiments of the people we are leading. At times, we must accept that the sentiments at times have overdose. And a politician under those circumstances should learn not only how to whip up those sentiments, but how to manage them, particularly when they get blown out. It is for that reason that I consider that it has taken me time to decide on talking over this Bâtonnier's arrêté. Suffice it to say, the Bâtonnier of the Cameroon Bar Association doesn't live in Bamenda, doesn't live in Boya, doesn't live in the Anglophone regions of the country. The Bâtonnier near Kamga hasn't got its offices in the Anglophone regions of Cameroon. We, the Bar Council members, we, the Bâtonnier's representatives who are on the ground, we are the ones who are living the realities on the ground. And it is incumbent on us, when there is a lot of misgivings, to come out and edify the public, clear the air when you discover that there are some misgivings or there are some poor handling of information. It is for that reason that it is incumbent on every Bar Council member, every Bâtonnier's representative who is on the ground. We have never had such a strike action before, which touches on part of the country. And I think that it's incumbent on us, the institutional leaders of the bar, who are on the ground and who are on the affected territory, to come out and edify the public. Because any misgivings or any misunderstanding of what is happening will affect us more than those our colleagues, Bar Council members who live east of the Mongo. It is for that reason that I have thought it necessary to come out and clear the air. The recent decision of the Bâtonnier, namely to call on his colleagues of the common law tradition or in Anglophone Cameroon to resume work, is the individual decision of the Bâtonnier based on his election as a Bâtonnier, as a bar leader, as a leader of the Cameroon Bar Association, known in French as a Bâtonnier. Suffice it to edify public opinion, to inform the public that we are first of all elected as Bar Council members. We are 15 of us who are elected Bar Council members, and from amongst the 15 of us, the Bâtonnier is elected on a different ballot, on his own merit. And as Bar Council, he presides over the Bar Council, and we take resolutions that come out from the Bar Council are known as Bar Council decisions. And in that, we are wholly responsible. There are other decisions also that the Bâtonnier may take individually, after consultations or without consultations. In that particular case, there are decisions of the Bâtonnier, and they are still binding. Both decisions of the Bar Council and those of the Bâtonnier, they are all binding on the Cameroon Bar Association. And because whether we take decision as Bar Council members or as Bâtonnier, they are taken by authorities that represent the Cameroon Bar, that represent the authorities that have been put in place by the Cameroon Bar in their individual merits. So it is important that the public knows that the decision was taken by the Bâtonnier using his power, the powers conferred on him by the bar law and the internal regulations of the bar. And that was after consultations, after he went around the Northwest region and the Southwest region, and consulted the advocates on the ground, and he got opinions expressed differently on the ground with regard to how we can forge ahead with the present crisis. And from those opinions that were expressed, he picked out that which suggested that they should put in place a conclave or a commission that will be made of members of the bar, the Northwest and the Southwest, to decide on advising the colleagues, because we cannot sit in the General Assembly and take a concrete decision, because it was not feasible for the common law lawyers association to be, or common law lawyers to be convened in a General Assembly. So he now took a decision that was urgent and as a need arose. So he now put in place a conclave made of North and Southwest, who advised him. The recommendations of the conclave went to the batonnier personally. And then on those recommendations, on those observations, he now came out with the arrêté that he came out with, or the decision he came out with, urging colleagues to resume work while negotiations go on. Suffice it to say, I submit myself to those who say that the present crisis in Anglophone Cameroon surpasses the lawyers, is far and far above the lawyers that of the bar to handle. It's a general crisis, a political crisis, which has to be given a holistic attention. And it is by that token that I want to chip in this on my own personal consideration to say, if we all agree that the problems that are besetting the Anglophone regions is above the lawyers, why not place ourselves on the same wavelength so that we can all follow the same line of action at each given moment? Why should the lawyers be exceptional in their own line of action, while the general public or why the other professional organizations are exceptional in theirs? We should all, it is my humble opinion, that we should all descend to the same wavelength and go by the same mot d'ordre, as they will say in French, or go by the same principles, or go by the same orders that will be governing us. If we say it is Country Sunday today, let it be all Country Sunday to everybody, because the crisis is above that of a lawyer. Let it be Country Sunday to everybody. And if we say today is an open day, let it be an open day to everybody. So by that token, what I'm simply saying is, we should, having accepted that the crisis is above that of the bar to handle, it's above that of the common law lawyers to handle on their own, though they started it, should we now not descend to the same platform so that we can now be following the same, we can now be carrying on the problem now holistically, so that it can be given attention as a political problem to be given by the same authority that is the head of state that we're calling on him to act. So it is my opinion that having realized that the problem is not that of the lawyers alone, it is high time that we descend to the same wavelength with the public and follow the same, go by the same decisions that we take. That is the reason for which I say, as a politician, we need to guide public opinion. It is, I want to say that I share the sympathy, I share the plight of the Anglophone community to my marrow, because it's a plight that touches on human rights of the people. It's a plight that has its fundamentals, that is based on truth and reality. It is not something which any normal thinking Anglophone Cameroonian should play down on. We share the same plight, we are suffering the same casualty, but it is high time that we change the gear. We change it, because we can remain on one gear. If you drive a vehicle on one gear for a very long distance, the engine will knock. I want to think that the lawyers have been driving their own vehicle on the same gear for too long, and now that we are being given attention, I think that we should change gear and see whether we can have different results coming from the change of gear. Somebody has likened the present plight of Anglophone Cameroonians to that of the blacks in South Africa. And some who are in the diaspora, they have likened their being in the diaspora as the role that the Oliver Tambos they played in the fight against apartheid. I want to think that when the Oliver Tambos were in the diaspora fighting against apartheid, the ordinary South Africans, they went about their lives. While fighting, life never came to a halt. Life never came to a standstill while the fight against apartheid went on. And as obnoxious as the apartheid system, whereby you were discriminated against in terms of the color of your skin rather than the substance of your brain. That was the most obnoxious system that the world has ever witnessed. But if that took as long as it took, then what more of an issue like the Anglophone marginalization, or a call for Anglophones to be given equal opportunities, a call for Anglophones to be given their rights as negotiated by the forefathers? That is actually, I think, compared to apartheid, it is a lesser evil to apartheid. That's the reason for which I think that we need to go, we need to learn about other struggles elsewhere and go at its lower pace, knowing that we can change it here and the fight continues. We don't go on the same, we don't carry on country. Lawyers are having perpetual country Sunday, while the rest of the public, with whom they are suffering the same plight, are having limited country Sunday. If I may use the language that we're using in the field, some call it country Sunday, some call it the market day, and some call it other. But then what is it is that the ghost town is on and is highly respected. The non-going to school is highly respected. So lawyers too have children who are at home. Lawyers have children who are at home who have not gone to school. Lawyers respect country Sunday perpetually, unlike the other people with whom they are fighting the same cause. I think it is high time that we descend to the same platform, the same the wavelength, and follow the same cause, so that we can be fighting on a balanced playground. So we can be going. Maybe leadership does not end with people who are detained or people who have gone into hiding. Other situations can produce other. I don't think that there's any society that is void of leaders. So the leaders cannot only be limited to those who have gone out of the country or those who are in prison. Suffice it to say, with what has been promised, the package that has been promised, the conclave, who then now changed their decision and recommended the resumption of work, if at the moment that they resume work on the 31st, or they get back on the table to evaluate what has been done on the 31st of July, and they find that some of the things, most of the things that have been promised have not been put into place, I think I will join them, and I will join them to say we have been deceived. And with that, anything that happens then, I am ready at that time with the lawyers to go to Kondenge. You get the point? So what is there is that we now should descend, we should now be with the public at the same wavelength and fight the battle on the same platform.
Yes, at the beginning of this talk, you said it is the batonier's decision, and so lawyers were saying it concerns him alone. Now you two are saying lawyers should go back to court by the 2nd to respect that decision. Lawyers too will say that is your own personal decision too.
I am not saying it's a decision. I am not saying that. I am the batonier's representative. People expect, forgetting of the fact that I am a bar council member elected by the whole Cameroon Bar Association, but while in the bar council, I represent the cry of my people over whom I exercise my function as bar council member, or over whom I exercise my function as batonier's representative. So I take their cry to the bar council, and there I plead their cause. What I'm saying is, the baton I've just brought out at the beginning of this interview, I brought out the fact that the bar council will come out with a decision or with an appeal to lawyers to go back to court, or the batonier himself could do it, because the batonier is voted by all the lawyers on a different platform for the entire bar. The bar council is voted by all the lawyers on a different platform as bar council members. So what I'm saying is that the decision, I did not, as a bar council member, take part in arriving at that decision. But it is a batonier's decision, which is the decision of which I'm called upon as his representative to oversee his execution. Whether it will be executed or not, whether it will be honored, it will be respected or not, that will form the subject matter of yet my report to the bar council when the next meets with regard to what happened, with what is happening with the resumption called by the batonnier. Suffice it to say, this is not the first time that the call is coming from the bar that work should be resumed. Last time, the bar solicited, call on colleagues through the bar council decision to resume work. It was never heeded to. The report was met. The batonnier acted on that report, and that is why he made consultations the way he did. He has come out with this. Whatever comes out, but my appeal is that we are not on the same platform. we have accepted, I want emphasis to be laid on this, that we have accepted with the Anglophones, that is Anglophone community, that this problem transcends the problems of lawyers. It goes beyond the bar to handle. So the reason, what I'm saying is, we should now descend on the same platform, like that of the community, so that we follow the same line of action. If they say today is Conti Sunday, lawyers respect it together with the community. If they say today is working day or tomorrow is working day, we all go to work at our various corners. When they say it's Conti Sunday, we all respect the Conti Sunday. By so doing, we must have now descended to the same level with the community, and we will now be speaking the same language, and the problem must have been accepted. We must have all, in principle, technically accepted the fact that the problem is not a lawyer's problem. Because if we continue while we continue not going to work, we continue on Conti Sunday forever. We are on Conti Sunday forever, while the rest of the public, with whom we now agree that we share the same plight, we now agree that we share the same plight. It's no longer a lawyer's problem. But we are working on two different platforms. They are respecting Conti Sunday and having open days. But we are on Conti Sunday forever. If we go by that token, we are now saying that the problem is a lawyer's problem and not that of the Anglophone community. You get the point? That is what I want us to make. That's the point I want to make clear. That if either we accept that the problem is the lawyer's problem and not the community's problem and handle it as a lawyer's problem, or we accept that the problem is a Anglophone community problem, and we don't now descend on the same platform and follow the same agenda as Anglophones, or not like lawyers. That's my opinion.